Peel Police are providing an update on the investigation into a hit and run last month that has turned fatal. Let's take you live to Mississauga.
And then fled westbound on Dundas Street. Unfortunately, Jim was then struck while he was laying on the ground by a second vehicle. Jim was taken to a trauma center in life-threatening conditions, and I am sad to say that on Monday, September the 4th, 2023, he succumbed to his injuries at hospital. We have identified and spoken to the driver of the second vehicle, which struck Jim. However, the driver of our suspect vehicle, the dark-colored Toyota Corolla, remains outstanding, and that's the reason why we're here today. The Toyota Corolla will have sustained front-end damage due to the collision, likely including windshield damage. We encourage anybody with information regarding this collision to contact us at the Peel Regional Police Major Collision Bureau, or they can remain anonymous by contacting Crime Stoppers. This includes witnesses or even a neighbor or an auto body shop, anybody who has any information or knowledge on the whereabouts of where this vehicle is or the identity of the driver of this vehicle. This message is also to the driver of that Toyota Corolla vehicle. We would encourage you to consult with a lawyer and turn yourselves in to police to bring closure to this case and closure to Jim and his family, Bill and his family, which they rightfully deserve. Our condolences go out to Jim's family, Bill White, who was brave enough to be here with us today, and all of the rest of his family who's been affected by this incident. And I can now take any questions that anybody has here today. Jim was living in Mississauga, and we don't know where exactly, unfortunately, he was coming from that night, but he was crossing the street when he was struck by the vehicle. And Jim's 58 years old. Can
you describe more specifically where he was struck in this night? You said east of the current Woodlands?
So right directly behind me, near this apartment building, is where he was struck, and it was in the westbound lanes. That I'm not sure of, Bill.
He was down there at Credit Woodlands apartment.
Credit Woodlands apartment?
Yeah, down near the reddish building.
What he did for a living, Jim. I know you don't, I'm trying to get a picture of what your son was up to as far as, did he work and did he have a family, anything like that? Do you want to say a few words?
No, he didn't have a family. He was,
Can you
come in front of the mic for us, Mr. White?
no, he was on long-term disability at this time. He had diabetes, and they had taken toes off, so he wasn't able to work. He had to give up his car because he had neuropathy on his feet, and so he was not doing well financially, but he was getting along. He had a young lady that he considered his daughter, who is now in England. He thought a great deal of her, and she does of him. And they were over here for 2 weeks. And she happens to be a lawyer in England. She really has helped me a lot in trying to get things settled. And she really this has really bothered her a lot, of course. Okay.
He was on long-term disability. You said he had to give up his employment. What did he do?
He worked at Refreshco up by the airport.
Refreshco?
Yes.
Is that a grocery store?
No, it's a bottling plant.
And this woman, you said was like a
She what?
Did she live?
No. No, he rented part of her mother's basement for about 14 years. He was there, and he met them when she was 7 years old, and she is now 35. And they were very, very close. Every time I talked to him, he always said something about Ashley, and that was one of his main topics.
So, wait, can you say a few words of that driver is this?
I can't hear you.
Can you say a few words about if this driver of this vehicle, this Toyota, is watching? What would you say to that man or woman?
I just don't understand why he wouldn't have stopped. If Jim had stepped out in front of him, it's an accident. I think we all can understand accidents, but not to stop and just leave him there, I don't understand. It would be great if he would call and turn himself in and get this thing settled.
Let's go.
We've been getting an update from Peel Police in regarding a hit and run that is last month that has now turned fatal. It killed a 58-year-old man. Police say that they're looking for a dark-colored Toyota Corolla that has front-end damage, likely including windshield damage. They're asking anyone with information on this hit and run to contact Peel Police or Crime Stoppers.